Think about the last time a friend called you at midnight. Car broke down, stranded somewhere. You went. Now, think about the last time your alarm went off at 6 a.m., the one you set for yourself, to write, to run, to finally start that thing you keep saying matters. You hit snooze. Same person, same bed. Completely different response. You are not lazy. Something far older than willpower is running the show. In 1944, Viktor Frankl was prisoner 119104 in Auschwitz. He had lost his manuscript, his family, his name. One freezing morning, marching through icy mud, he felt his mind beginning to collapse, shrinking into desperate, trivial thoughts. Would there be bread tonight? He recognized this spiral as the beginning of the end. So he closed his eyes and imagined a warm lecture hall in Vienna, upholstered seats, an attentive audience waiting in silence, and him, standing at a lectern, delivering a lecture titled The Psychology of the Concentration Camp. He invented an audience, a social obligation, people who needed him to survive. And somehow, he did. Here is the question that should unsettle you. Why could Frankl survive the unimaginable when he had a witness, but feel himself dissolving when he was alone? In 2003, neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger put people in a brain scanner and then play a simple digital ball-tossing game. Midway through, the other players stopped throwing the ball. They were excluded from a video game. The scans showed activation in the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the exact brain region that fires when you physically break your arm. Social rejection and physical injury share the same neural alarm system. Researchers later found that Tylenol, regular acetaminophen, measurably reduced the pain of being left out, not metaphorically, neurologically. This is why you will wake up at 4 a.m. for a friend and not for yourself. A promise to another person triggers a biological threat signal. Your nervous system reads social betrayal as the risk of exile, and in the ancestral world, exile meant death. But when you break a promise to yourself, no alarm fires. The tribe isn't watching, and so your brain does exactly what it evolved to do in the absence of threat. It conserves energy. It goes back to sleep. This is not a character flaw. It is a firmware problem. But here is where it becomes genuinely tragic. Every time you break a private promise, your brain quietly logs it. Psychologists call it self-trust erosion. Research shows that one broken self-promise dramatically lowers the threshold for the next. You don't just skip the workout. You begin rewriting your own identity, from someone who tries to someone who doesn't. And because no one else witnesses the failure, what follows is not guilt. Guilt says, I did something bad. Guilt motivates repair. What follows private failure is something darker, shame. Shame says, I am the bad thing. And shame doesn't push you forward. It locks the door from the inside. Philosopher Nathaniel Branden spent decades studying self-esteem. His conclusion was simple and devastating. Self-esteem is not how others see you. It is the reputation you build with yourself. Every small promise you keep casts a vote. Every one broken in private casts the opposite. And the brain, that relentless pattern recognition engine, eventually believes the tally. You would never stay close to someone who lied to you every single day, who promised to show up and never did. But we do this to ourselves, silently, repeatedly. And then we wonder why we've stopped believing in our own word. Frankl survived Auschwitz not because he was stronger than the others. He survived because he gave his existence a witness. He turned his survival into a social contract, even if the audience only lived in his imagination. The research confirms the principle. When you write a goal down and report progress to one person each week, your success rate nearly doubles. Not because accountability is magic, because your brain finally registers the promise as something real, something the tribe can see. You don't need more discipline. You need to stop making promises in the dark. What would you finally become if you promised someone else you would?